Hello, everybody. Welcome to Kovat Valley, a fortress I've been playing for about 11 years in game time and maybe 70 hours real life time. Let's get started. So, first thing you'll notice is probably that I'm using the ASCII version. At the end, I'll show you guys the fort in the graphics version, but for now, let's just stick with this because that's how I designed the fort and how I usually play it. Um, so, from the top, this is the start of a tower where I have my military dwarves training. One thing I like about the ASCII version is that it shows the colors of the individual combat dwarves. So like the mace dwarves are red, the hammer dwarves are purple, and it goes on like that, which is I think is pretty cool. Small details like that. But besides that, the tower keeps going down. This is another training area, and here's where it starts to get slightly more interesting. I have a bunch of dead bodies here, because I had a recent siege, so we gotta clean those up eventually. But you can see I have a fortification wall set up so my archers can shoot through the fortifications. And to the left here, there's a start of a tavern that I start to build. Let's keep going down. So this is the fortress manager's office, which a bunch of levers. I think something cool that you can do in Dwarf Fortress is kind of like role play, because of course the manager's office will have all the levers where you control the fort, right? So that's where I put them. But besides that, here's the dormitory for the tavern, and here's the main section of the tavern itself. You can see that I've been sticking with the orange and blue team the entire time. I think they look pretty cool together. They're contrasting colors. And yeah, it's pretty cool. But besides that, you can see a huge mess here. Yeah, the recent siege had me waste a lot of bolts here. But we eventually beat it, so it's all good. In the graphics version, you can't actually see the broken bolts. You just see all the vomit and stuff, which I think is slightly disappointing. I'd like to be able to see the broken arrows and stuff, even if they went away for some time. I think in the ASCII version, they don't go away, but yeah. These are just all broken arrows and stuff. One thing you'll notice is that I'm on a glacier. So there's no trees above ground. And also, you might notice that there's no snow. Why is there no snow if it's a freezing biome? Well, I turned off rainfall because I don't like the way snow looks. And it brings me to another point with this game. It's just like, it's a sandbox, right? If you don't like the way your castle looks when you build your sandbox in a specific way, you can always change it, especially in Dwarf Fortress. There's so many options to change it. So I turned off rainfall for the world gen, and it generates a world that has a lot less, a lot less trees and a lot less rivers and stuff, which is still fine. It also means that there's no snow in glaciers, which is the most important part for me. Besides that, you can see I have the central gate set up. I have 5 gates. You might be wondering why I have 5 gates, because some of you guys might have noticed that the battering rams aren't too effective in usually like wooded areas. But if they're not in a wooded area, the battering rams just go straight for your bridges, straight for your walls, and start breaking them down instantly. So you kind of have to have extra layers of protection if you don't have trees around your fortress. If you don't want your fortress to go down, at least. Besides that, let's keep going down. One thing you'll notice in the central area is that I have a rampway set up, a double helix rampway. Most people just have a 2x2 or 3x3 stairway, like basically going from the top of the fortress all the way to hell or whatever. I think that personally looks very ugly, and it doesn't really make sense architecturally. It doesn't make sense in the way the dwarves would build it, in my opinion. But yeah, one of my favorite things about this fort that I built is just watching the rampway go up and down, watching dwarves go up and down the rampway. But here's where the fortress actually starts. You can see the huge valley that I carved out in the central staircase, stairway, I mean. And here are the catacombs. I tried to build them as organically as possible. I don't necessarily need all these tombs, but I think they look cool, so I built them anyways. Anyways, let's keep going down. These are the nobles, like bedrooms and throne rooms and dining rooms and stuff. I put some gem windows in here just to make it look cool and add value to the room. Yeah, I think little things like that are pretty cool. Cause in the graphics version, they don't look as cool as in the ASCII version. I think that's just my opinion, though. Some people might disagree. You might see these unfinished rooms. They're for my Outpost liaison and for the queen that just moved in. So just building it out right now, trying to get them sorted. let's keep going down. So these are the bedrooms. Like the same thing with the tombs. I tried to build them as organically as possible. Um, and yeah, I think all smooth out, they look pretty cool. Uh, I really don't like the central, like basically communist like apartment blocks that people build for their dwarves. It like it makes me a little sad. Because this game has so much potential to make your fort look good, make your castle look good, make your sandbox look good, but people don't take advantage of it. Um, but yeah, I think it ended up looking pretty well. Let's keep going down. These are just the workshops, but you can see the start of something blue. I'll show you that in a second. Nothing too interesting here, just a bunch of workshops. But here's the main fortress, the main general living area. You can see a central river going down and some bridges going across them. I'm gonna unpause here just so you can see, but one of my favorite things about this fortress and Dwarf Fortress in general, what makes it like such a great game for me, is just watching your little dwarves do their thing, living their lives, going across the bridges that you built. It's one of my favorite parts. Yeah, it's one of my favorite parts. Um, but yeah, I want to talk about a little bit why I use the ASCII version, right? Because there's some benefits to using the graphics version. Like you can see through layers with the graphics version. But I really don't think the graphics version looks very good in my opinion. I really like the minimalistic aspect of the ASCII graphics. So yeah, that's basically it. Just preference here mostly. I don't really mind if other people use graphics, but yeah, I personally use the ASCII version. I think part of why people bounce off this game so much is because they don't understand that a lot of this game is just enjoying the little things, like enjoying your dwarf going across the bridge you built for the underground river that you built, enjoying your dwarves hauling stones from a wooden wheelbarrow that you built, enjoying your march dwarves shooting at their firing range. Little things like that is what makes it all worth it for me, honestly, playing this game. And that's pretty much all I want to talk about. Thanks for watching. I'll show you the rest of the fort in graphics for a second, just so you can see it, but I'll just go all the way down, just so you can see everything. Here's where I pump up the water for the river, by the way. Like from the, yeah. I use the water wheels to pump up the pump stack, and it just goes all the way up. Yeah. Also, you can see I keep building the central rampway throughout the whole base. I think it looks pretty cool, honestly. It's like one of my favorite parts. Oh, we got a giant rat here. Okay. Yeah. Here's the graphics version, just so you guys can see. One of the things that I don't like about the graphics version is the ramps don't look as good. With the ASCII version, you can kind of like imagine in your head they're like curving inwards, the ramps I mean. But and like that makes a roof and stuff, but that's not really the case for the graphics version. They're just kind of like, they still look like kind of walls, like, you know what I mean? Let's keep going down. I think this is one of my favorite parts about the graphics version, though, is that you can see below layers. Like, you can actually see what's going on. All right, thanks for watching.